Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's episode 86. And boy, oh boy, dude, going to a Jazz Laker game today. I'm pretty fucking hyped about that. So, getting my shit done a little bit earlier today. That's a fucking lie. Why did I say that, bro? Kind of late to the gym, matter of fact. It's 1:36. Gotta leave in about 3 hours. Going to my grandpa's house. We're gonna grub like fat asses, and then we're gonna head down. So, in case you're wondering if you're listening to this from somewhere else, this is in Utah. This is about 45 minutes away from Salt Lake City, Utah, the capital of capital of Utah, Salt Lake City. And it'll be a good time. So I kept that in mind all of this morning, and because I didn't work today, so that's great. So I got a lot done already today as far as the powerless goes. I think after I record this show and then kind of work on some Photoshop shit as far as designing some different things here, I'll be done. And so that's awesome. So the remainder of the day is going to consist of that, as well as, let's see, I got to take an ice bath still. Got to write down what I'm thankful for. And then I need to, and I think I might shift that from a Google document to an actual notebook. Just seems a little bit more genuine and sincere when I write it out. I don't know. It's kind of like I'm just checking off a box when I type it out, because I don't know. I'll try it out. We'll see what happens. Because earlier today, what I did actually was I was looking more into the business aspect of things. So I was looking at the LLC, C Corps, S Corps, all that shit, seeing what the difference was, seeing what the best route to go is. And prior to all this, I think I knew that LLC was the best route to go based on what I know. But I'm trying to learn and trying to grow here, so kind of walked into it pretending that I knew absolutely nothing, and I know maybe 1%, so I pretended I didn't know that 1%. So I just pretended like I didn't know shit, went into YouTube, found some videos, found some people that seemed credible, just listened to what they had to say, and went from there. And I wrote notes in my notebook. I just quick fired them out, wrote down some shit here, wrote down some shit there. Just some key points. I watched a lot of YouTube shorts with quick and concise information that gets the point across in less than a minute, which is kind of what I'm after. And I learned a lot, and I wrote a lot of it down. And so I feel really accomplished with that. The next thing I did for the Powerless today was, so one of the things that I want to do is be able to do what I think no other brand has done as far in the supplement world, that I've seen. I mean, I'm not really the best at social media and looking and seeing what other people are doing, because I don't give a fuck. And I think that's both a strength and a weakness for me going into everything, because I don't know what other brands are doing. I don't know if, I guess I have an idea now, but I don't know how, like if I made a formula for a pre-workout, I wouldn't know if I was copying somebody else, because I haven't looked into other people's products. And that's an example to get the point across, but I have looked at other people's products. So what I did was, and I talked about this before, I think it's, maybe 30 episodes ago, 40, 50, I don't know. But part of phase one for me was, one of my extra critical tasks was researching an ingredient, writing some pros and cons and some research about it, what it does, how it affects with the body, or the effects it has with the body, and the synergistic effects it has with other ingredients, if any. And so that was part of my power list. So I did 30 different ingredients for the whole phase one. And so looking into a certain pre-workout, I would look and I would find, so for example, I started with creatine. Everybody knows what creatine is. And I started with that, and I just did some research on it, learned a little bit more in depth about how exactly it works. What things it combines with to be even more potent or more effective, So, and then I would write a little bit about it and then figure out how I could dumb it down so that anybody could understand it, and most importantly, how I could understand it so I could teach it. They say the best way to learn something is to teach it, so that's what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, what I did today was I went and I started with creatine, and I took the information that I already wrote down, which is pretty cool. So half the work was already done for me, and I trimmed it down into a bite-sized piece of information that is so easily digestible and comprehensible that I think it's just going to be super helpful to the uneducated consumer, because a lot of brands, there's so many things I want to say, dude, but there's a lot of brands that I've noticed when I scroll social, intentionally trying to find other products to see what they look like, what they're doing. And I haven't seen anything like this, dude. A lot of people, a lot of businesses will post photos or content or whatever about their product and say, they'll pound their chest about how science-backed it is, how the latest studies, how it's the most purified, most high quality, most organic, yada, yada, yada product or ingredient there is on the market. And dude, I see so much of that same exact branding and that same exact messaging. And, what's up, Winco truck driver? I'm in a parking lot right now, outside the gym. Just finished legs, fuck yeah. And I see so much of that same exact messaging, and it's so, I don't know if the right word is redundant, dude, but it's, every supplement should be the latest science, should be the highest quality ingredient, should be the most purified, shouldn't be having some bullshit in there, shouldn't be having some dirty, metal inclusive, shouldn't be having any of that shit, bro. And that's a given, right? That should be understood that, yeah, no, we want the highest quality, period. Next question, But it seems like that's everybody's core branding, core messaging. We are the most this and that, scientific study-backed, blah, 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 certified for potency. And yeah, dude, you should be, That's how I see it. Every product out there that I put in my body should be third-party tested for potency and purity. It should be, absolutely. If it's not, I'm out. That's a baseline fundamental. That's the, I don't know, man. So I see a lot of brands pushing that messaging, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if your whole brand is based on the fact that you have the highest quality in this and that, that's awesome, and you can gain a lot of trust with that, and a lot of, transparency is so vital with all this shit. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just see that, and I'm like, yeah, we should be doing that. That should be the absolute baseline minimum requirement for a product, I think. So why are we marketing it that way so heavily, So I don't know, man. It's just something I was thinking about. I lost my train of thought with where I was going with that. What was I saying before that? Oh, it's, so I'm trying to, make a very short and concise, easily digestible, very understandable description of how what each ingredient does in the body and how it's effective and why you should look into taking that ingredient. But not only that, I want to make it it's just so easily digestible, and I think that's the most important point for me. Because that's what I was saying. So I see all these brands post about this and that and how it's backed by this and it's got the most purified this, and it's like, dude, that's fucking awesome, for real. Not even being a dick about it. Like, that's awesome. But what does that ingredient actually do? And what does that ingredient actually do when it's with another ingredient? And if it's with another ingredient, is there something to watch out for? Is there something that I gotta be careful about? Is there extra side effects? Like what? Like, if I'm a new consumer and I just buy a pre-workout, obviously there should be at least a dozen ingredients in your pre-workout. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the pre-workout and the sport and the intent behind it. But we're talking bodybuilding, building muscle, all that shit. Building strength, endurance, force output, strength output, you name it. Getting fucking jacked, right? So that's the intent with this pre-workout. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is new consumers come in, they buy a product, and they just see a laundry list of gibberish to them, if they're brand new. And they see all that shit, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, I feel good. I feel the tingles, and I get a lot of energy, so this shit must be good. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's great, dude, because ignorance is bliss if the product is good and what it says to be, and it is a quality product. Because you can look at the supplement facts panel, see all those ingredients, and because you feel good taking it and you see good results taking it, that's enough for the consumer to be like, yeah, I like this product. But I want to, and I don't want to say dumb it down, even though I just did. I feel like it's kind of not what I'm trying to say. but just oversimplify it for someone to learn and grasp the idea of with learning about the products. And I can pull up an example. I'll read you exactly what I wrote. So starting with creatine, let me find where I wrote this at. I got a huge ass, let's see here. Got a huge ass document here that I'm just got all the information. Where the fuck is it, bro? So this is a super simplified analogy that I wrote for creatine, and then one of the synergistic effects it has with beta-alanine. So the analogy for creatine is it's like a star power-up in the popular Mario games that allows you to lift more and go harder. It doesn't, however, make you invincible. And that's what it does. That's exactly what creatine does. So that's because it boosts energy production, which is ATP. And then I wrote on here, literally, think of ATP like the bank account of muscles. If you run out of money, you ain't lifting. The more money you have, the more you can give. And that's exactly what ATP does, dude. So it speeds up regeneration of ATP to give short bursts of intense activity. And then I literally wrote synergy, what synergy even means, because let's start with what the fucking definitions of words are, right? Synergy refers to how something works when it is in combination with another something. And then I wrote, works well with beta-alanine and caffeine. So creatine enhances ATP and speeds up regeneration of ATP, which is required for force output. Beta-alanine, on the other hand, increases carnosine levels, and carnosine helps to buffer the acidic environment from lactic acid buildup, which then allows for delays in muscle fatigue, allowing you to go harder for longer. And here's the analogy. So think of it like a computer. Creatine acts as an extremely intense programs that your program can run, and eventually, with those intense programs running, your computer will overheat and require a cool down. And then beta-alanine is like the fan in the computer that cools it down, allowing it to run even longer before overheating inevitably occurs. Let me say that one more time. It's like a computer. Creatine acts, I'm gonna dumb it down even more. It's like a computer. Creatine acts like a computer program. Eventually, the computer will overheat from running the program and require a cool down. Beta-alanine is the fan in the computer that cools it off, which lets it run even longer before overheating occurs. Meaning exactly what the fuck that is, dude. So a creatine lets you go harder, but because you're going harder, you're gonna overheat, right? So you're gonna get the lactic acid buildup. You're gonna get all that shit going on. You're gonna get that fatigue. But beta-alanine comes in and says, "Not so fast. Hold the fuck on, dog. I got a little bit of a delay for you." And that delay pops in, and you're able to go a little bit harder for a little bit longer. Even if that's one additional rep, a rep that late in the game, in the phase right there of all your repetitions, like if you're doing 15 reps and you can barely get to 14th, that 15th rep is where you're getting the muscle gain, right? That's where you're getting the breakdown. That's where you're getting the hypertrophy, right? That's how all that comes together. So that's the most important part of that. So if you can get an extra rep or 2, 3, 4, as many more as you can get, that's where you're getting the most bang for your buck. That's when it becomes potent and extremely, I guess, beneficial. I don't know if that's the right word. But anyway, point of me saying all that is I'm breaking this shit down. Hopefully that anybody, a 12-year-old can, fucking first grader can walk in and say, oh, so a computer heats up and then a fan cools it off. Oh, okay. So that's creatine and beta-alanine. Oh, I don't know what a creatine is. That's kind of the idea. So that's what I'm doing, man. I'm trying to put it into bite-sized chunks. And I realize now I'm looking at this, it's not necessarily bite-sized. There is a lot that goes into this. But how much can you really put? Man, So I guess, spoiler alert, one of the ideas I have is, so one of the things I want to do, and I'm still working on development of the whole thing, but if you order a product from any company that I own, you're going to get more than what you ordered, right? I've already talked about that. One of the things that I want to include, dude, I order so many different products, and it's just a product that I get. I don't get anything extra. I don't get any little thing in the box that explains this or explains that. No thank you, rarely if ever. It's just so interesting to me how just faceless, personless, I guess, if that's a word, just no connection, and a lot of people don't give a fuck about that. I get that. But I do. And I'm sure a lot of you listening do too. And so Anybody who orders anything from me is going to get more than what they ordered, period. And it might not be, extra products or, dozens of dollars worth of shit, but it's going to be a little something that hopefully gives some kind of insight or value to you at no additional cost to you. It's only coming out of the margins of the product. And so one of those things I want to do is include multiple pamphlets inside the shipping container, the box, whatever. So you're going to get the product, you're going to get different things, right? But what I'm talking about now is a pamphlet that explains each ingredient in the pre-workout that you're about to consume. And the more I think about this, the more I think that should actually be on the website itself before they even purchase it. But we'll figure that out. But it's going to have a pamphlet, and that pamphlet's going to include pamphlets are going to include a multitude of different things. One of them being a breakdown of each ingredient, practical analogy, so you can easily understand what the fuck you're consuming and why you're taking it, how it's going to impact your workouts, or even further, because the idea is more than a workout. It's performance, period. So whether that's athletics, or whether that's cognitive ability, or focusing, or doing something with business, or doing something, goes more. The whole idea, the whole messaging, the whole branding goes way past athletics and building muscle. So it's going to have a whole multitude of shit, including the breakdown of ingredients, and I want that to be in the container. And I want it to be so easily readable, so boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's what that does. Cool. Something that the person who bought from me can refer back to, even if it catches dust, or if it gets buried in their papers, or if it gets slammed on the bottom of their desk. They'll eventually come across it, if that's the case, again, and see it and be like, oh yeah, so that's what theanine does. Oh fuck, that's what huperzine does. Oh, alpha GPC. Dude, I knew I should be taking that for folk. Whatever. And so that's the idea with that. And so after ordering multiple products from multiple companies, nobody gives a fuck in that regard. And there's good reason. I mean, it's a lot more time consuming, takes out of the margin, takes a lot more effort. I get that. A lot of people make the product to get the money. But like I said, dude, I'm not going on Amazon. I'm not going to sell the shit on Walmart. I'm not going to put the shit at GNC or bodybuilding.com. Not that I even can afford to do that right now. And the whole reason why is because I want to be in control of everything that goes out. Meaning, I want to be able to see the product be put into a box, add all the extras into the box, be sent out to the person, and I want to be able to connect with that person. I don't want to send all the product to some third party, have them ship it all, and not have the personal touch, have somebody else that's not part of my brand with my core beliefs and my core values and my vision handle my shit to send. I don't want that. And I'm probably missing out on so many sales and I'm probably missing out on a lot of publicity. I'm missing out on a lot of traffic, where the eyes are. I'm missing out on a lot of that. I know that, and it's fine. Because I'm not doing this right now to make money, to make a profit for myself. Of course, I want the business to make money, and it absolutely will. Even with all the extras I got going on, it does trim up the margins. I wouldn't say a significant amount, but a noticeable amount. So if it costs me an additional $7 to do all the shit that I want to do, that's $7 less per product. So somebody who's not doing all the extra shit and taking the time and care to make the product specific, or make the product a little bit more tailored to the person ordering, or give the extra value, or give the personal touch, or whatever, it's I don't know, man. It's just something that I want to do, and I want to have absolute control. And not me personally, but if you, dude, there's so many plans I have, dude. But if you're going to be associated, or in the future, if you're working for the brand idea here, the company that I have, there's certain things that will be done, and there's certain standards that will be kept no matter what. And one of those is definitely, man, I have just so many secrets, dude. I don't want to say it yet, bro. I'm so excited, and I want to keep it. I don't know, man. I guess all I'm trying to say is it's not me personally putting the shit in the box. It won't be that way forever. But for the start, obviously, it's going to be all me. 100% will be me. But later on, it's going to be people who work for the company But since they're working for the company that has all these core values, the standards, beliefs, the vision, they're going to execute under those guidelines in that manner and do everything according to the company rather than sending it to a third party. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It's a very long way of saying that I just, it's not going to be me all the time, obviously, but a lot of that's going to take a lot of extra time and effort and energy to do, but I think it'll pay off because it'll create that personal touch and connection with the person who is supporting the company, supports the belief, likes the product, wants more of the product, and might even tell somebody about it. And so that's what the fuck I'm about. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I don't take $1 from the company for 5 years, I've said this so many times, then oh well, dude. Obviously, long term, yeah, I would like to take some money from the company because ultimately I'm doing this to set my future family up for, a life of prosperity and financial abundance. But don't have a family yet, no kids, no wife, nothing to worry about in that regard. It's all me. So there is a lot of risk that I can take and I'm comfortable taking because the worst thing that could happen is I just lose money. And I'm not really worried about that. So as long as I keep my personal shit in check and worry about the things at home and I take care of all that, I'll be all right. The minute that I stop worrying about that, then that's when the problems incur. So that being said, that's all I got. Just want to do shit a little bit different, dude. I mean, the brand might come across, and you'll see this, I guess, as maybe big and tough and, discipline, this, willpower, don't be a fucking pussy. I might come across as that way, I guess. But man, dude, that's how you get happy, bro. You do the hard shit every day without compromise, no wavering. You just get it done. You overcome the struggles. You overcome the hardships. Overcome the internal battles that you're having with yourself. Doing the shit you don't want to do. And doing it no matter how you feel. Acknowledging how you feel even. Saying, wow, dude, I feel like I'm a piece of shit and I don't want to do this. But then you still do it. That's how you get happy, dude. That's how you get self-fulfillment. That's how you feel true, genuine happiness when you overcome the hardships, the hard shit that you do in life. Because you can look back and be like, wow, I fucking ran at 2 a.m. in the morning when it was 2 degrees outside. Man, I got an ice bath at 3:50 a.m. this morning. Everybody else was still warm, was still sleeping in their warm bed. I went 100 days in a row taking a cold shower. Or I ran 100 miles in the last 50 days while everyone else, it's just pride you can take in that, dude. And that's what I'm about, man. That's what I'm about, 10-fold, man. So that's what's going on. So with that being said, we're going to end it on that note. We got a couple hours before I got to get ready for the fucking Laker domination game. So that being said, guys, thanks so much for listening to episode 86 of the bq.POV Daily Podcast Show. And I'll catch you next time. Peace. 14 more to go, by the way. All right, bye.